I have a quick question for you. Assuming you buy Microsoft stock, the next day, stock price drops, you're down $1,000. A week later, the stock price climbs back up, but this time you're up $1,000 more than you started with. Same $1,000, same stock. Here's the question. The pain you felt when losing that $1,000 compared to the joy when gaining the $1,000, do they feel the same? Leave your answer in the comments. Here's something I've noticed in my own investing career. I have a tendency to sell my winners too soon and hold on to my losers way too long. And I finally found the answer for why that is. It's the psychology of loss aversion that controls my emotions and behavior. In today's video, I'll walk you through what loss aversion is, the real-life examples of how loss aversion impacts your behavior. By the end of this video, if this is something you also experience, you'll learn what to do to make a change so that loss aversion doesn't prevent you from building the massive wealth you deserve. There's a study done in 1979 by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. It was later tested again by Kahneman and won the Nobel Prize in economics. The core finding is simple but shocking. Losing something feels roughly twice as painful as gaining the same thing feels good. So losing $1,000 doesn't just feel a little worse. It feels about twice as bad. Same dollar amount, completely different emotional weight. When Kahneman and Tversky conducted a series of experiments, they found that people don't evaluate money in absolute terms. They evaluate it relative to where they're starting from. A loss from that point hurts way more than an equivalent gain feels good. Loss aversion doesn't just live in a psychology textbook. It shows up constantly in how people actually handle their money, career, relationships, and other decisions. Here are a few of the most common ways. Using my example, holding onto a losing investment for way too long. Once a stock or a house or a business drops in value, selling it means locking in the loss. That act of selling makes the loss a permanent reality. So instead, people hold on, hoping it'll bounce back, even when all the evidence says to move on. The pain of confirming the loss outweighs the logic of cutting it. Another example is overinsuring against small, unlikely risks. People will happily pay more for a warranty, an extended insurance plan, or extra coverage on something small. Not because it's mathematically smart, but because the fear of losing that item outweighs the rational cost benefit of the premium. Think about the Apple Care. It costs about $269 to insure a newer model of iPhone for 2 years. That's just for the right to pay $29 per repair, with a limit on how many times you can even use it. Compare that to a $79 or less phone case, which costs a fraction of that one time and actually prevents most of the damage from happening in the first place. But the case doesn't feel like protection the same way insurance does, so people reach for the $269 plan instead of the $79 case, even though the case is the more rational move. The third example is staying in a bad job, business, or relationship because of what you already put in. This one blends loss aversion with something called the sunk cost fallacy. The money, time, or effort already spent feels like it has to count for something. Can you think of a time when you kept going rather than walked away? You clearly knew pushing forward was an uphill battle with a dead end. There was a much brighter path you could have chosen. But because the fear of losing what you already knew outweighed the fear of the unknown, you stayed right where you were. One last example, playing it too safe with long-term investing. Because the fear of a portfolio dropping in value feels so much worse than the pleasure of it growing, people sometimes keep too much money in cash or safe, low-return accounts, which ironically guarantees a different kind of loss. The slow loss of value to inflation over time. All of these behaviors are driven by the fact that our brain is trying to protect what we already have and not what we could have. That's also the reason why taking risks is not something that comes natural and will take practice and mental power to accomplish. So now you understand how loss aversion mindset has been the driver for a lot of your previous decisions. Here's the part that really matters. What are you actually going to do going forward? First, recognize that this isn't a personal failure. It's how your brain is built. This mindset is found in cultures all over the world. You should also know that you'll never fully turn off the instinct to feel losses more than gains. That's not really the goal. The goal is to catch yourself in the moment it's influencing a big decision, such as selling a losing investment, leaving a job, taking a chance on something new. Write this down on a piece of paper. Am I making this choice based on the data or facts, or because I'm scared of how a loss would feel? Then answer it with honesty and make your decision accordingly. Thanks for tuning in today. This is part 2 of the money psychology. Hit the thumbs up if you find this helpful. Your encouragement motivates me to create more useful content for this community. Let's keep building together. If you want to check out the part 1 of the psychology of money scripts, click on the link above. I'll see you in the next video.